So I'm going to wrap up this week's show with my final bit of news, which is from FYI. Now, they have done something that I guess on paper looks pretty basic, but I think it's incredibly powerful. And that's what I love about our ability to talk about the news topics on our podcast is that we might release something, you might see it in a newsletter and you might go, that sounds boring. But when actually you hear someone talk about it and the way it can be used and what can be done with the system, you think, oh, actually, that can be a differentiator to some extent for us in how we engage with our clients. Now, what they've done is they've launched forms. Wow, forms. I mean, forms have been around for ages, right? But the power of FYI and its automation engine actually massively accentuates what you can do with forms. So firstly, the Forms beta, as it obviously just been released, is for all elite users. So there's many plans inside FYI. Elite is essentially the top plan, and the Forms section in that, the beta level, is only for that plan. But it allows you to send out forms internally or externally to then get them completed, and that can be done automatically as part of workflows. Now, why is this important? Well, as we're definitely going into this phase, people have mentioned it a few times of making taxes or for income tax. Gathering data becomes critical. That is the biggest pain point where we're increasing the cadence of our engagement with clients. It was horrible to try and get tax return information on a yearly basis, and now we're having to get this on a more regular basis. So what do we want to be able to do to make that much more pleasant or much more, not enjoyable, but less painful for us, is to have something where it can just automatically go out or upon review from anything we're doing on I guess our normal tasks or normal daily work. And the way the automation engines work in FYI, you essentially build it as part of a data flow. So it could be, I'm doing this work, it's getting to the point where I would normally, as part of a year-end accounts process or from a tax return process, I need to gather information from a client. Or it might be, I need to gather some basic data, or I need to pose a question and then see what their response is. You can have that automatically go out to the client, extract that information and put it back into a structure that you need inside FYI, be that custom fields, and then report on it. So as part of a regular thing, you could be saying, okay, we're now setting up tax return information, what's come in, where's it been populated, what information we got, what we're missing, trigger the whole cycle again. But only for those that haven't sent it in. So you're not bombarding people all the time, but you've got a smart automation engine that's going out there and going, what do I need? And that doesn't just have to be for clients. So something that should be and is awfully done in pretty much every accounting firm I've been is get feedback on where your staff are at. Like mentally, well-being is critical, but especially when we've got it's so hard to recruit and retain great talent in accounting firms. Keeping, I guess, regular updates, regular awareness on where your staff's mindset, headspace is something I think should become more and more important. You've got these really advanced HR systems, but a lot of the time it's just asking questions in a really regular way and then getting something that can interpret that. And so if you've gathered this, you've got this automated form, it's bringing in data. And then, as I guess, Lee, you were talking about earlier, you can then wrap an AI wrap around this to go ingest the sentiment of this and give me a red flag on anything you think is where someone doesn't sound their self. You'll be gathering this on a regular basis. You've got all kind of the history. How is someone talking in a different way? Is there something that maybe we should then, from a personal level, engage? So we're not saying replace the personal stuff. It's just be smarter, get insights, get data to enable you to be more directed. And because we're all busy people, you can then know I need to have that chat with someone. They're not happy about this, or actually they feel they've done really well in this, and I need to give them feedback. So you can work with clients, you can work internally. It could be something where you're thinking it's boring, it's forms, but integrated with a really powerful automation engine, which is inside FYI, you can do a lot with it. And I think that is something that, once again, sounds basic, sounds boring, I think is a really good release.